Good rising, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful evening. Oh my god, I feel a sneeze coming on. Oh god, oh god, oh, I hate that feeling. It's like a burning feeling in my nose. That's a perfect way to start this video. Okay, perfect. So the topic of this video is... I'm sorry, that's too funny. The topic of this video is my experience with psychedelics and my spiritual awakening process. That has been... Really, it's been happening all my life, I feel like, but there's definitely a point where it really, like, reached new levels, so to speak. And psychedelics definitely helped in that sense. They also hurt in other ways, which, maybe I could make another video talking about that, but uh let me just backtrack a little bit. So, ever since I was born, I feel like I've been very spiritually in tune. I don't remember any of this really, but my mom said when I was like a little baby, I would always point at this one specific corner in the room and just like laugh and giggle and smile. And my grandma Ruth always was like, that's his guardian angels. And I don't remember that at all because that's like it was before I was like 4 years old, so I was very young at that point. And so, time goes by. I slowly lose that connection. Around the time I was in middle school, I became very atheistic. I was like, fuck you, God, fuck you, Jesus, Satan, yeah, Satan, I want to suck your dick, Satan. That's basically what I was. I wanted to become a Satanist. I wanted to be in the Illuminati. I'm not even fucking joking. I wanted that. I wanted that lifestyle. Like, I thought that was what would make me happy. So, yeah, I wasn't satanic for very long. That phase went by very quickly, but I was still atheist up until my sophomore year of high school. That was when I first tried LSD. LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide, is a very powerful psychedelic drug which was invented by Albert Hofmann in the 30s, the 1930s, I believe. Became very popular in the 60s. The CIA introduced it to, with the intention of using it for brainwashing people, but obviously it did not work that way because everybody started fighting against them and fighting against the war and, free love, all that stuff. Everybody turned into a bunch of fucking commies. No, I'm just fucking kidding, but yeah, they did kind of turn into a bunch of commies. Um, so I got some LSD. It was very synchronistic, I guess you could say. Not necessarily synchronistic, but it was just the perfect timing. Let me go back actually. So, in my freshman year of high school, I knew this guy. We'll just call him. We'll call him. I don't know. We'll just call him And so this guy, he told me, "Hey, dude, I found these research chemicals. Right? They're no, they're not free. They're legal. You can buy them online, and they're just like LSD." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! I want to get some," because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I just wanted to get high. I just wanted to know what the fuck was up with this shit, because that's all I cared about. I was experimental. I wanted to know what these drugs made me feel like, and that was pretty much my only intention. I didn't even do any research. I mean, I did research on LSD, but I didn't know what drug I was getting. I ended up getting 25 INBME because I asked him I asked him a while back, but it was a long time after I got those tabs. He sold me 5 little purple tabs, like very tiny little tabs. I'm guessing that it was just like maybe 1 or 2 that were cut up into smaller individual pieces, because normally if you take like 4 tabs of 25 INBME, you'd be dead. Otherwise, I'm just lucky. Either he sold me like 2 tabs that were cut up into smaller pieces, or I'm just fucking lucky that I didn't die, because people die from like two of those tabs. And all of the LSD deaths that you hear about are from NBOME. People need to test their drugs. I can't stress this enough. You don't know what you're getting. You could be sold something that's labeled as LSD. It might say LSD. It might have all the psychedelic artwork on the blotter, but it might be, some crazy research chemical that you've never heard about that can kill you, with such a small dose. So be careful. I was not careful at all. I just went for it. I took 4 tabs. I did some research, but I did research on the wrong drug. I knew LSD was safe, so I thought I was going to be fine. I was like, fuck it, take 4 tabs. I did end up having a good experience. That was my first ever psychedelic experience. It was very surface level. Nothing crazy happened. But fast forward another year. I'm in sophomore year now. I came across a couple guys who were able to get me real LSD, and so I got it. I got like a 10 strip for $100, and I forget how much I ended up taking my first time. But again, it was like a really stupid amount that I shouldn't have taken, but I did end up having a good time. I've never really had a bad time on LSD. On mushrooms, that's a different story, because mushrooms make me insanely introspective, and it makes me focus on all the shit that I've been putting off. And it's not necessarily like a nightmare experience where you're seeing demons everywhere and they're trying to fucking kill you. That's what they make it seem like in the movies, but that's not what it's like at all. It's just like confronting all of the shadow aspects of yourself that you've been repressing and been ignoring, and that can be very challenging to work through. But anyways, I ended up having a very good experience with that trip. I took, I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 tabs, but these must have been underdosed, because I did end up taking like a 4 tab dose one time with my friend, and that shit just fucking, I couldn't see anything physical anymore. It was just all fractals and geometry. And so anyways, I'm actually going to get to that story a little bit later, because that's one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest moments in my entire life. But, this trip goes well. I go for a little walk outside. I'm listening to my Pink Floyd. I have on What a Wonderful World by is it Louis Armstrong? Is that the guy's name? I know you guys know the song I'm talking about, but I can't remember the guy's name that sang it. But I think it's Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. And one of the most wonderful things that happened to me during that trip was when I was looking up at the night sky. I was laying down on the driveway outside of my house. My aunt and uncle were both asleep. I'm looking up at the starry night sky and the tree that's in our front yard, and I'm just mesmerized, because the leaves look like they're crawling around the tree. Not like they've grown legs and they're crawling, but they're just like morphing and moving in such a beautiful way. And I'm just looking up at the sky, and I'm like, wow, I am so small and so insignificant compared to the infinity of everything. And so, it just made me feel so humbled to look up at the night sky and realize that really I'm just like this small speck in infinity. And so, that trip went by, and I had just maybe like a few more experiences up until I ended up tripping with my friend for the first time. And I think I had taken 2 tabs. I think we had both taken 2 tabs. And he went deep into this experience. He had some sort of out-of-body sort of experience. And I, on the other hand, I don't remember much about this experience, because one, it was like almost 3 years ago now. Also, it's just very hard to remember the order of things, and just the general timeline of your psychedelic experiences anyways, because it messes with your perception of time. Like time isn't linear when you're on psychedelics, which is so weird. But the one thing that left me just shook with this trip was, so I sat down on their carpet. His sister found out we were tripping. We were talking to her, and I just remember like sitting down on the carpet, and like laying back in just an entire ocean of colors. It was mostly like very bright reds and greens and yellows and oranges, and it just washed over like a fucking wave. It washed over my field of vision. I was like, oh fuck, I get it now. Everything is frequency, everything is energy, everything is vibrating. I'd never heard these words before. I didn't know what these words meant, but I just instinctually knew it. I knew it. I knew in my core that this is what things are. And after that experience, I started looking up on my phone. It was like universal frequency, energy, vibration. And I started seeing all these things online of people saying the same exact thing. And I was like, how the fuck is this possible? Isn't this just supposed to make me like hallucinate? And hang on, let me backtrack. I totally don't just believe anything that I see on my trips, because I've seen some weird shit on my trips. I've had weird thoughts on my trips. You know, the use of psychedelics is 50-50. They can open up your... Well, they do open up your mind. They do open up your awareness. That's literally what the word psychedelic means. Like, people think psychedelic means just like, oh, trippy, dude. Oh, colors, dude. Oh, like, patterns, dude. But no, like... It's literally what psychedelic means. Psyche, mind, delic, delios, manifesting, expanding. It manifests the deeper parts of yourself. But it also can open up you to delusional thinking, and that's possible for everybody, not just like, you know, I mean, for the most part, people are going to come back down, but if you have some sort of like mental disorder, then yeah, that is going to stick with you. But anyways, that's besides the point. Anyways, my point is just that I don't just take whatever happens on any trip and just accept it as reality, because, you know, there's definitely a lot of like nonsense. But what even is nonsense? Nonsense is only nonsense comparing it to the quote unquote normal reality that we are supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to be in, right? Like, people have this idea of what baseline reality is supposed to be. Now, what if there really isn't any baseline reality? I mean, anyways, so, you know, I was looking it up online. I was looking up, you know, frequency, energy, vibration, and I came across the Nikola Tesla quote. You know, if you want to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. I had never heard these words before, man. I have never heard these words before. But somehow, I downloaded this information into my mind when I was on psychedelics, and it just made so much sense to me. And then I started looking up, and other people were having these experiences too, and other people were saying the same exact thing. And then that made me go on this deep rabbit hole. I started watching, like, Infinite Waters. I got into, like, Aaron Doughty. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Victor Odo. You know, I got into all those guys. And so, you know, I understood after that trip, I understood that psychedelics were so much more than just like, oh yeah, dude, like trippy, psychedelic, dude. Like, you know, it's so much more than just that. It's so much more than just like this trippy thing, you know. It's a tool that can be used to expand our consciousness, and a tool that can be used to heal, a tool that can be used to explore. But, you know, that's just all it is. It's just a tool. And so, fast forward, I you know, I have a hard time remembering the timeline of how these events played out. But, fast forward a little bit, it's summer of 2017, I'm working my summer job. You know, I think I was just about to move over to my mom's house, and so this is like the last time I'm about to see my best friend at the time. And, you know, one of our things that we would do together was we would trip. We were trippers, we were stoners, you know, and this time we ended up taking 4 tabs, which is very arrogant. It was very stupid. But again, I ended up having a great experience. At first, it was fucking hell, because I mean, within 30 minutes, I was literally having like full on fucking visual. I mean, not like full on visuals, but like I was starting to like trip pretty hard within 30 minutes. And usually, if you know anything about acid, acid is supposed to take like really like 2 hours to peak, and I was like hitting levels that were similar to some of my previous experiences within 30 minutes. So we were laying down on the trampoline just to like, cause his family was still awake at this point. We thought we would be fine. We thought we would be peaking by the time they went to bed, but it was kicking in before we expected it to. So we were laying down on his trampoline, and we ended up coming back inside. His grandma was still in there, and I just remember us going to lay down on the couch until she left, and I don't even remember what happened between the time that we were on the couch and between when his grandma left, because it all just seems like one big blur. But I remember at some point his grandma left, and we were both just alone in the family room, and I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like, all I'm seeing right now is fractals and, like, patterns everywhere. That's all I'm seeing. And especially when we turned on the light, it was more like I could see things. But when we turned off the light, I remember I was looking at his fan, and it was just fractalizing into, like, this creature. And it looked like some, like, mechanical bug. And so I don't even remember like any of the things that we did during this trip. The thing that stuck with me though, this was when I had my first like ego dissolving experience. It's so weird talking about this, by the way, because it's like I had an ego dissolving experience, but during that experience there was no I. So how am I supposed to like talk about this when I didn't experience it, but there was an awareness experiencing it? Like, it's not like there was will, like there was me, there was, you know, there was this person experience. There was no me, there was no nothing. It was like I was nothing and everything at the same time. And so I kind of like blacked out, and I came back, and I just remember me and this friend, we were looking at we were literally like this close to each other, like just staring at each other in the face. And I came back and I was like, holy fuck, dude, I get it now. We're all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as separation. And then I got down that whole rabbit hole. And so psychedelics have been very powerful for me. And, you know, they've also done a lot of harm, I feel like. You know, just they can become a crutch. And I feel like if this is just my personal opinion. I know people, you know, get frustrated when people say things like this. And listen, I'm not judging you if you want to trip recreationally, you just want to see some cool stuff. But this is just my opinion on it. I feel like psychedelics are very powerful spiritual tools. Not just spiritual tools, but like tools for just healing in general, for your mental, for your spiritual, for your physical. And so, you know, it's important to have some sort of practice outside of the psychedelics, and I think that for me is where that's where I failed with my psychedelic use, is I leaned too much on them for those mystical spiritual experiences, whereas I could have really just gotten there through the breathing and through the meditation and through, you know, but now I still partake in psychedelics, you know, in moderation, not as much as I used to. I never tripped that much compared to other people. Like, I know some people will do it, like, consecutively, like, for days, or they'll do it, like, once a week. The most I ever did it was once every 2 weeks, because, I mean, I wanted my tolerance to reset, for one, and I just felt like that was a good time to wait, but now I do it, like, once every couple months, really, to maybe, like, once every month. And I have a meditation practice, I have a breathing practice that I do outside of the psychedelics. So, you know, I don't feel like I need them anymore. But yeah, this is just how I got started on my spiritual journey. There's so much more I could share with you guys, but I just wanted to make a video talking about psychedelics in this one. So if you guys enjoyed, I hope you did. This was very fun to make, actually. So um, I hope to start making more. You know what? I'm not even gonna say I hope to, because that leaves room for me to not make more videos. I'm going to start making more videos. I can't guarantee that it'll be, consecutive, and that I'll get on it right away, because I've got a job, I've got other projects that I want to work on. But um, you know, I just enjoy talking about these topics with people, even if it's just me talking to a camera and people listening to it. Oh, I really enjoy just letting it all out, because I mean, we need to. How the fuck am I supposed to just keep this all in? Like, I would lose my mind, dude, if I didn't, that's one thing I want to say before I end this video. If I didn't have people who had been through similar experiences that I went through, I would have thought I was fucking losing my mind, dude. Like, but I had my sister, I had my friend, I had, all the people online who were sharing their experiences, and I'm so grateful to all of you, for real. Like, I would have probably gone off the deep end if I didn't have people like you guys to share this with, and people like you guys to just talk to about this stuff, and so we can learn from each other. And oh man. Anyways, I'm gonna make some tea and get ready to start my day, because I've got to go to work in a couple hours. I just wanted to make this quick video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, a wonderful, wonderful bleh, and I'll see you guys later, bleh.